That, guys, was all of the games that we got. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got probably one of my biggest CEX hauls to date. This is the size of the bag. That is a chunky one, so we're going to get straight into it, and yeah, it's going to be good. Okay, I wasn't lying when I said this was a huge haul. Just look at the amount. I don't even think it's going to fit on the camera. Oh, it does. That is the amount. I've been to a couple of CEXs over the last couple of weeks. So this isn't I go out, buy the games, come straight home and film the video. This is, I've just been buying games on a rolling basis and I'm just going to show them all off. Okay, this might be a bit of a long video because there is a lot of games to get through. So I'm going to try and speed it up a little bit. But the first one, we've got PlayStation 2, Ratchet & Clank 3. This has been a bit hard to find. I had to go to a CEX that I haven't been to before to get this one. Yeah, it's obviously, I'm trying to collect all of the Ratchet & Clank games. So this is a nice addition to the collection. I've never played this one before. I think this is the general consensus of the best Ratchet & Clank game that's come out. As well, you have inside, you have obviously the disc and the manual. Always with the PlayStation 2 games, you get the chunky manual as well. Really big one. And I like it as well, you do get like a little advertisement for different stuff. So I'll try and get that to focus in. What's that? Sly the Fox? Sly 2, Band of Thieves. So probably a bit nostalgic for some of you there. I've never played Sly before. Maybe I could pick it up. Maybe someone in the comments below can recommend it if any of you guys have played it before. Continuing on with the PlayStation 2 games, we have got another black case. This is the first Splinter Cell, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell. I've never actually played a Splinter Cell game before. I know it is massively about stealth. I think this is one of the pioneers of stealth in video games. Yeah, Tom Clancy as well. They've made loads of games. They've got Rainbow Six. I think the newest one they've got Rainbow Six Siege that's come out. And yeah, I used to play Rainbow Six Siege quite a lot, sort of a few years ago. I've always been terrible at it. I'm terrible at first-person shooters normally, and I'm terrible at stealth games. So this is not a good mix for me. But I would like to play through the entirety of these Splinter Cell games. I've heard they are fantastic. So if I just read the back to you as well, here it is. So, your name is Sam Fisher, and you are the best field operative of a secretive NSA sub-agency, sent to execute desperate missions. You're the last resort of the government. Should you be captured or killed, all knowledge of your existence will be denied. You are a Splinter Cell. So sounds like this is, obviously like some espionage type of stuff. It's, the government's sort of secret weapons to infiltrate some enemy bases, probably like terrorist groups and things like that. This is made by Ubisoft as well. I'll get right up close to the camera. So there's Ubisoft. Their old logo, that's crazy. Ubisoft have fallen from grace recently. They are making some terrible decisions. Hopefully with the new Assassin's Creed Shadows, maybe they can redeem themselves. The last few Assassin's Creed were pretty good, some of them, but who knows. But yeah, this is hailed as a very good game, I've heard, so I'm excited to try this one out. Okay, next one up, still PlayStation 2. This one is, well, everyone knows this as Bully, but what it's actually called is, I'll try and read it off the side, Canis Canem Edit. I didn't know it was called that. I always thought it was just called Bully. But even on the sticker just there, you can see the name of it and then AKA Bully. So everyone knows it as Bully. I don't know where that comes from, to be honest with you. I don't know why people call it Bully. You play as a bully, it looks like in this. I have seen a few bits of gameplay way back in the day. I mean, this came out, I don't know when this came out, but this came out a long while ago, obviously PlayStation 2. But this is, yeah, I'm excited to play this. I've heard this is one of Rockstar's best games, and they are yet to make a sequel. But here, I'll read the back as well. So, Canis Canem Edit takes the Rockstar tradition of groundbreaking and original gameplay and humorous tongue-in-cheek storytelling to an entirely new setting. The schoolyard. As a mischievous schoolboy, you will stand up to bullies, get picked on by teachers, play pranks, win or lose the girl, and ultimately learn to navigate the obstacles of the worst school around, Bullworth Academy. So you play as that skin-headed motherfucker down there, right? Him. I don't know what his name is at all, but you play as him in this. You're in the school, the Bullworth Academy, and you're just causing trouble. There's definitely a story behind it. I think like you obviously play pranks as the thing said on the back. There's lots of like side things in this, but yeah, it sounds like I've heard it's a very good game. I'll have some gameplay up in the background as well. But this cover is very minty. A very nicely kept cover, so it's nice to see a PlayStation 2 game as old as this. Made by Rockstar as well, so obviously everyone knows who Rockstar is. They are the makers of GTA. You know, GTA 6 is coming out as well, so Rockstar are red hot right now. Everyone's talking about them. Everyone's anticipating the new GTA. But as well, so you've got, this is actually quite cool. So cut the gameplay for a second. So this sort of looks like a school leaflet for the Bullworth Academy, which is quite nice, but it is the guide, sort of gameplay guide to the game. Yeah, so on here, this is cool. You got like a note from the principal of the school. So it's very much like a school leaflet before you'd sign up your kid. And as well here, you've got like a comic book there in the middle. That's a very nice touch there. I'll say it again, guys, you don't get this stuff. You really don't. As well, you got some items you can get in the game. Yeah, very, very nice. And as well, you get, in this one, you get a map as well. So it doubles up as a poster. So I'll show the poster first. So there's a poster, that's pretty cool. So you can put that up on your wall if you wanted to. And then as well, flip it around. And there is the map. Trying not to get it glaring, but yeah, there's the map for you. So it looks pretty big to me. Sometimes these maps can lie to you a little bit about how big the actual game is. They can look a lot bigger. I know, like Fallout, for me, every time I look at a Fallout map and you first start the game, I'm like, wow, this map is crazy. And then you explore it a lot and it becomes so much smaller. So yeah, hopefully this is, it looks quite packed with a lot of stuff in it as well. So if any of you did this back in the day, so you've got, everyone will know the Rockstar Social Club on, probably from GTA, but instead of obviously signing up online, you would have to sign this registration card and send it to them in the post. Crazy. None of us deal with the post these days, do we? So that was Bully. A very nice addition to the collection. I really like the front cover as well. It's actually raised. You can't feel it through the screen. I wish you could. But that bit there behind the plastic sleeve of the case is like a raised lettering. And it's all shiny gold as well. Very nice addition. Okay, next one up. Still PlayStation 2. This is Max Payne, the first one. I've never played a Max Payne game before. I have heard very good things. A lot of these games that I'm showing off, I actually haven't played before. I am mercilessly building up my backlog, which is overwhelming, but it has to be done. My collection started from scratch. It has to be done. The backlog has to be made. But this is cool. So in this game, I've seen like gameplay of this before. I don't really know the story behind it, I'm going to be honest. So there's not much for me to say about this one, but I know for a fact he like dual wields these pistols and you can jump sideways. So if you're playing Black Ops 6 at the moment, the Omni movement where you can jump this way and it does slow motion. So he's like with the two pistols like that. So we all did that as a kid, don't lie. We all pretended to shoot guns in slow motion and then like land on a pile of pillows or something. But I'll read the back of this as well. So Max Payne is a man with nothing to lose. TM. Don't know why they trademarked that. In the violent, cold urban night, a fugitive undercover cop framed for murder and now hunted by cops and the mob, Max is a man with his back against the wall, fighting a battle he cannot hope to win. Prepare for a new breed of deep action game. Prepare for pain. That's cool, a nice tie-in to the Max Payne bit. That's a very interesting story there. So he's obviously been framed for murder. He was once a police officer or a cop for the Americans, and now he's been hunted by the mob and the police force. I'm excited to try this out. I know there's one on PlayStation 3. I think Max Payne 3 is on PlayStation 3 as well. Look at this guy's face on here as well. There. That is terrible graphics, really basic PlayStation 2 graphics. But yeah, excited to get into this one. Okay, next one up. This is the last PlayStation 2 game of the haul. So this one, I've never heard of this game ever, never seen gameplay. I'll throw some up now so that you can see. But this is called Eternal Ring. Here's the front cover. There's the back as well. So yeah, I picked this game up and I read the back. You know, I'm quite into fantasy. I like to read fantasy. I like to play like Skyrim and all that. So I'm very much a fantasy lover. This, I just read the back and I just thought it sounded really good. So the back says, who said fantasies had to be final? Cain, a young magician, is sent by his king to investigate the strange happenings on the island of no return. Armed with his sword and his natural talent as a sorcerer, Cain attempts to be the first person to return from the island alive. Legend has it that magical powers lay dormant at the heart of the island, an island inhabited by numerous beasts and enormous dragons that were supposed to have died long ago. As Cain, you must solve intriguing scenarios whilst defeating any foe that stands in the way of you and your search for the ultimate magic ring. So the whole premise of the game is that you've been sent to this island that no one's come back from yet, and the main goal is to get this magical ring that will give you some powers. In this, it's there's a lot of puzzle solving. It seems like I'm very much a lover of puzzle games. I like Resident Evil. The first one is one of my favorite games. The puzzles in that game were fantastic. I think I've mentioned that before. But this as well is made by Ubisoft. See there as well, that has their old logo on there. So this is probably one of their most underrated games that's come out. I've never seen anyone talk about this before, never seen this before anywhere. £4, so it might be really bad. As well, I was looking through this game, right? I opened it the other day. You'll never believe the gem that I found in this game. You'll never believe it. So there's the manual, right? Pulled it out, there's the back. That's probably where the magic ring is. And then I opened it up and I found this sleeve in it. And I was like, what is this? Absolute gem. So it's like someone's little cheat sheet that they've made. So I'm guessing that's a maze that you go through in the game, and someone's drawn it out and obviously done all of the different pathways you can take, what not to do, what's there. As well, they've put cheat codes on the top, which is insane. I remember doing the cheat codes for GTA San Andreas and writing them on a piece of paper and sticking them on my wall so I could play the game, look to my left, and there would be the cheat codes, and I'd type them in. And it was crazy. And then they've got as well, on the side, they've got magical ring locations, and you've got 1 down to 10. I believe that's 10? 14. 1 down to 14, you've got all of the different locations. And it's on a really nice piece of paper as well. Honestly, this is one of the reasons why I love going to CEX, because you find stuff like this sometimes. It's the same as going to a charity shop or going to a car boot sale. You find other people's stuff. You never know what you're going to find, honestly. You never know. And it's stuff like this that just makes me feel you've got a piece of someone else's life, and it's just, for me, this is very interesting. So this is one of the best pieces that I've got from a game so far. Okay guys, now we are on to PlayStation 2. This is a game that many of you have probably played. This is Sleeping Dogs on the PlayStation 3. I've played through this game a few times. From what I remember, you are a Chinese guy. So this takes place in, I believe it's in China. I don't think it's a made-up place. Oh, it says welcome to Hong Kong on the back. Jesus Christ. So yes, it takes place in Hong Kong, and you play as, it doesn't say it, I don't believe. Anyway, you play as this guy, and he's like an undercover cop, and he basically infiltrates like the Chinese mafia, like the top Chinese gangs. And he's like crazy, like martial artist as well. So you do these takedowns on enemies that are like insane. You use the environment to help you. Some of the ones I remember, you shove a guy's head into like a vent or like an electrical outlet or something and like electrocutes him. There's another one where you like smash a guy's face into a counter and then you pull the shutter down on his head. It's a brutal game. It's very, very cool. I feel like it can be a bit underwhelming. I've played it a couple of times, and for me, it didn't live up to the likes of sort of a free roam game like GTA. This is very reminiscent of a GTA game. For me, yeah, it didn't live up to it, but this is a very good game. A lot of people love playing this game, so I'm excited to play through it again. There's a definitive version as well on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, so if you don't fancy getting the original edition, I'm pretty sure it's quite cheap. as well if you get definitive. This was £2.50. Definitive edition is, I don't know, probably a bit more expensive, maybe around £10, but not too expensive. Okay, next one up, still PlayStation 3. This is Little Big Planet 2. Now, some of you might think to yourselves, why has he bought Little Big Planet 2 again? And I'll tell you why. Because if I show you the Little Big Planet 2 from my childhood, this is a PlayStation Platinum version. So that's what it looks like on the side compared to that. So all of the normal PlayStation 3 games have the black bit there on it. So on the shelf, this one looks a lot better than this one. So I basically just wanted to replace the case, really. Yeah, Little Big Planet 2, this is one of my favorite games when I was a kid, honestly. Oh, I didn't realize this had been chipped to the bottom. That is a shame. Anyway, but yeah, this is one of my favorite games as a kid. I've spoke about it before as well. I loved it. The creativity in this game was insane. Like, they took what they did in the first one and just perfected it. The third one is terrible. I think it's not terrible. It's not as good. But Little Big Planet 2 is the peak of Little Big Planet game. I'd recommend you guys, if you want to try something new and you want to try a different art style of game or a different style of game, this is something to try. This is something you have to play in your lifetime. Okay, I'm gonna fire through the next 3 games because they're all connected and there is a lot of games. Not too many more to get through, but a lot of games to get through. I basically just picked up all of the Assassin's Creed games that I wanted to get. So Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and you already guessed it, Assassin's Creed 4. No, Assassin's Creed Revelations. So basically the Ezio trilogy, you can get all of the games in one disc on PlayStation 4, Xbox One in the Ezio trilogy, something like that. These are peak Assassin's Creed, peak. I mean, I don't know what I like more out of Assassin's Creed 2 or Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I think both of the games are insane. Assassin's Creed Revelations didn't stick the landing as well. I wouldn't say it's a bad game. I would just say it's not as good as the previous two. But you had Assassin's Creed 1, which I have played. It's not a bad game by any means. It really isn't. It's the first Assassin's Creed game that Ubisoft tried to make, and honestly, it set the foundation. Okay, it walked so Assassin's Creed 2 could run. It was very repetitive. Like what you would do is you would go to one city. The whole premise of it was you would assassinate these high-level targets, really, as you do in every Assassin's Creed game. But all of the missions were the same. So it was like you would go to a different city within Israel. You might want to correct me in the comments, but I think it's set in Israel, somewhere around that area of the world. You go around as Altair, and you basically go to different cities, and it's the same Assassin's Creed Brotherhood like HQ, just reskinned. It's always the same. You always climb up to the top of the roof and climb into a hole, and you're in there. And then there's a guy who gives you a mission, and you go and kill the guy, come back, and then you go to the next town until you get to the end. And while it was fun, it was, once you've done the first mission, you've done them all. Like it was like that. So Assassin's Creed 2 really mixed it up. Introduced Ezio, the little charismatic Chad that he is going around. Story was great. The gameplay was fantastic. He was such a likable character. These 3 games I really enjoy because I don't think there's been, since these 3 games, there's not been a story of just one assassin. It's always been a different assassin every time in a different time period. But in these ones, they always call back to the first Assassin's Creed. Like Altair is in the trilogy somewhere. I know for a fact. Sure, it's Brotherhood. You can get his armor. I believe you can get his armor. So like you go around collecting all this stuff, and you can get his armor that's locked away like underground in a cage or something. I really enjoy these 3 games because they take you through Ezio's story. You know, in Assassin's Creed 2, he's young, he's inexperienced, he doesn't know much about the world. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, he grows a beard, so he's getting older, he's learning a bit, he's still cocky. And then Assassin's Creed Revelations, he's a lot more of an older man. He's getting to the end of his Assassin's Creed lifestyle kind of thing. He's in Assassin's Creed Revelations, you play as Altair. You follow, like, I don't want to say it's his ghost, but I think in the simulation you see like his simulation ghost around you, and it gives you tips on how to do stuff. So you are always flicking back and forth between the current period of Revelations and the past period of Altair's timeline, and it's very good. Yeah, it's a very good concept as well, but it just didn't stick the landing. So I just noticed as well, this one, Assassin's Creed Revelations, includes Assassin's Creed 1. So I've actually got 4 games here, which is a steal, a nice little steal. All right, so just like with Assassin's Creed, I'll do these next 2 together because they are connected. So you've got Uncharted 2, Among Thieves, and then Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception. Then you might be thinking, why didn't you get the first one? I can't find the first one. I can't find it non-platinum. It's really annoying. I'm gonna keep searching because I want to play the first one. I started with this one. This was my first Uncharted game. Probably one of my first PlayStation 3 games that I played. And I absolutely fell in love with this game. Uncharted 3 is fantastic. It's, if you've watched the film with Tom Holland, or even if you probably played the game, more people have played the game than watched the film. There's like a scene where you fall out of the back of a cargo plane, and there's a string of like boxes of cargo. It's all connected. They're all connected to each other by like a rope, and like one of them falls out. So you've got a long line of these cargo boxes hanging out the back of the plane, and like Nathan Drake, the main character, is hanging onto one of them. And I believe you have to climb the cargo shipments to get back onto the plane. Like one of them snaps off and you fall, and it's incredible. The amount of action in these games is phenomenal, but I haven't actually played 1 or 2, which is a shame. So, you know, I want to get 1 and 2 and probably play through the franchise again. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, see how it changes. Always replaying your games is a big thing for me. I love replaying my favorite games. But yeah, so with these ones I got, there's no manual in, well, there is a manual in this one. There's a code in this one. So here's the insides. So there is Uncharted 3, put that down. And there's Uncharted 4. So very historical, if you know what I mean. Like it sort of looks like a tapestry kind of thing. Very, very nice. Who's it made by? This is made by Naughty Dog, I believe. So obviously everyone knows Naughty Dog. They are a big game developer. They made The Last of Us as well. So if you enjoy The Last of Us, I could be completely wrong there. I'm sure it's Naughty Dog who makes these. I'm just gonna say it's Naughty Dog that makes these. And Naughty Dog made The Last of Us, so if you like The Last of Us, you'll love these games. Now we've got LA Noire. This, I mean, I haven't actually played this game. There's so many games I haven't played, but this is made by Rockstar again. Rockstar just bring out bangers after bangers, man. LA Noire, basically you play as a detective in the middle there, and you have to solve cases. Yeah, this is set in the 1940s in LA. Just read that off the back. And in this, I've seen gameplay where you question people and you do interviews and interrogations and all of that. I don't know how they did it, but I don't know when this came out, but it's quite a while ago. The face technology that they used was ahead of its time. So what you had to do when you interviewed people, you had to figure out if they were lying or telling the truth or how they felt by what their face looks like. So if you're autistic, you're fucked. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, the face technology was great because they had to do such a big focus on what the faces looked like and how they would express emotion. And yeah, this was ahead of its time, a very unique concept, something I am yet to see in another game. Probably because it's very hard. I think with the technology nowadays, they could definitely pull it off. I'll read the back out as well. A dark and violent crime thriller set against the backdrop of 1940s Los Angeles, and utilizing the revolutionary new facial animation technology, LA Noire blends the breathtaking action of chases and shootouts with true detective work, including interrogations and clue finding, as newly minted officer Cole Phelps embarks on a desperate search for truth in a city where everyone has something to hide. So a very unique concept. I don't think I've seen any other game really that's incorporated a detective. I know there's another game called Soul Suspects, which is Soul spelled S-O-U-L, and that's a very unique concept. You are a detective that dies. I believe you get shot in the chest with a shotgun, and you come back as a ghost, and you have to navigate the world, and it's overlaid with the ghost world. So like everyone that dies in the real world is like their stuff is overlapping onto the real world. Maybe I'll throw out some gameplay because it will explain it better than I can, but you go around, I believe you have to help this like young girl out of trouble, or you communicate with her, but basically you solve a case as a detective. I think you solve your own case. I think you solve your own murder as a ghost detective using the girl in the real world, and then you do certain stuff in the ghost world to help you get through the game. And that is a unique concept, and yeah, those are the only 2 games I've seen that incorporates a detective clue solving kind of thing. So yeah, this LA Noire, there is a definitive edition of this as well. I've been trying to find it, I can't find it anywhere. I'll play it on PlayStation 3. Did you know you can use your, if you've got PlayStation 5, you can use your PlayStation 5 controller on the PlayStation 3 if you just plug it in. Okay, next one up. I've never played this one either. The only reason I picked it up is because it has a slip cover and it's in such nice condition. This is Kane and Lynch Dead Men. There it is, that's the slip cover as well. Look, I mean, look how that is. That cover there is minty as well. That is a very nice cover. Basically like a white and red colour scheme going on. I've heard of Kane and Lynch before, but I've never played it. Let's read the back. A flawed mercenary and a medicated psychopath in a brutal tale of hate, loss and revenge. Featuring hard-edged criminal action, co-op play, explosive squad-based combat, and a backstabbing online multiplayer experience that will blow you away. From IO Interactive, the creators of the award-winning Hitman series. And bonus features, you've got soundtrack CD with exclusive music from acclaimed composer Jasper Clyde and exclusive art cards. Okay, exclusive art cards. I didn't even know this was in here. Oh, there's 2 discs. Ah, interesting. Okay, so you've got the bonus disc, which is the soundtrack, and then you've got the actual game, which is cool. I don't know why, right? I don't know if this is just old stuff, but they just put the 2 discs on there, right? Which is completely fine, I don't mind, but make it so that they both fit, because this disc is just rattling around in there. And then there's apparently, oh, okay, awesome. So we got art cards as well. So special edition art card 1 of 4. Okay, so here are the art cards. So I thought they were going to be actual cards, but it's just a piece of paper. That's what it comes like, basically. They all just fold up together. So I'll stick that back in, and then that's the manual. As I said, I don't know much about this game. I'll have gameplay shown as I'm speaking as well. I have heard people talk about this before, and I have seen it in the shop, like when I was a kid. But this is something that I never picked up. It never really the front cover never really interested me when I was a kid. This is I'm excited to get into this and see what it is. Obviously, it's a shooter game, but you know I'm a sucker for like a slip cover or a steel book, something like special. But this is awesome that it comes with art cards and a slip cover. Excited to get into this one. Okay, next one up. This is an interesting one. So this is a double pack of Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed 1. Now I know that I picked up Assassin's Creed 2 earlier in the video, but this was something that I picked up later on because to me this is a bit of a different game, and this is a fairly rare game. I haven't seen this sold anywhere in any other CEX. I've talked your head off about Assassin's Creed earlier, so I won't go through it again. Basically what you get in this is it's just a single disc, but in this one you get obviously Assassin's Creed 1 and then Assassin's Creed 2 Game of the Year edition. I don't know if it comes with DLC. A lot of time I've actually searched up what Game of the Year means, and a lot of the time it's not whatever. It is what game wins Game of the Year, but there's so many publications that can say like, I give the Game of the Year award for best action RPG booty hole game this year, and that action RPG booty hole game that action RPG booty hole game can basically put on their cover that they are the best action RPG booty hole game ever. They don't have to get it from like a genuine source. It can be anything. It can be like Sony magazine. It can be Booty Hole magazine. Take a shot every time I say booty hole. I read online, a lot of people look at Game of the Year edition and just go, instead of it saying Game of the Year edition, they will just think game with all of the DLC. That's what it is. So this is Assassin's Creed 1 and 2. Best Assassin's Creed booty hole game of the year. Right, next one up, Resident Evil game. This is Resident Evil, oh my days. Okay, this is Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City there for you to see. So there's nothing on the back. I can't even read the back to you. I'll read it in a second, look. Raccoon City has fallen. You are part of Umbrella's elite cleanup squad sent in to purge all evidence of their involvement. All survivors must be eliminated. All roads lead to hell. I've heard this game is not good, and the only reason I got it is because it says Resident Evil on it. I want to get all the Resident Evil games, just like the Ratchet and Clank game. I don't know too much about it. Obviously, you've got, is it Mr. X? Or Professor X is from X-Men, isn't it? Mr. X, I believe, or the Tyrant. I think the Tyrant's from Resident Evil 3. So you go in as an elite task force of Umbrella Corporation, and you basically you're just cleaning up the shit that Umbrella have put on the earth. There's the inside for you. So again, just the disc and the manual. No special bits in this either. Found an extract just there with the story on it. So I'll read it to you. September 1998. Raccoon City, located in American Midwest, fell victim to a large scare outbreak. The cause was a leak of the T virus, a biological weapon developed by the international corporation known as Umbrella. People and animals infected by the T virus become ravenous zombies who attacked those uninfected. The highly contagious virus swept through the Raccoon City, devastating result. Fearing widespread exposure of the leak, Umbrella developed the USS Umbrella Security Service. Their mission was to destroy any evidence linking Umbrella to the outbreak. Sensing the irregularity of the situation, the American government deployed in its Spec Ops team into Raccoon City. The Spec Ops investigation and the USS mission were on a collision course, guaranteed to bring bloody results. And so, the secret battle of Raccoon City was about to begin. Interesting. So, it basically says it there, really. You go in as Umbrella's team, it seems like, and you fight against the Spec Ops team of the US government and have to clean up the messy results that Umbrella have unleashed onto Raccoon City. I'm sure you're all familiar with Resident Evil 2 and 3. Basically, both games take place at the same time. One you play as Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield, and the second one you play as Jill Valentine, that's it, or someone else. I think he's like a Spanish dude. Jill's like the main person. In those ones, you play through that and you end up getting out of the city before it's nuked, pretty much, and the government just fucking nukes it right at the end. Yeah, this will be an interesting one, I would say. It will be interesting to see why people think it's bad. For a Resident Evil game, £6, why not? It'll be interesting to see why people think it's bad, what makes it bad, you know, what the game is actually like, because I might like it. Sometimes I like games that people think are really bad, and you guys probably do as well, so I'm interested in getting into this one. All right, next one up is I've plucked this out of a franchise. So this is Battlefield Bad Company 2. So my girlfriend's brother Philip, hello, Bok, because they're Croatian. So he told me that this is a really good game. I think he recently started watching my channel, so thank you. And he recommended this game, so I had to pick it up because I did see it on the shelf. It'd be interesting to play through the Battlefield games. I wasn't too much of a Battlefield player, more of a Call of Duty player when I was a kid. Yeah, he told me this was a good game. I think the multiplayer on this is the standing out factor of this game, but people aren't playing multiplayer on this anymore because it's an old game, so that's a shame, but I think the campaign is still really good. Here's the back as well, so yeah, if you played a Battlefield game before, it's very similar to Call of Duty, but it's a lot more realistic. One of the things that I remember, one of my friends when I was a kid was obsessed with Battlefield, a lot more than Call of Duty. He loved the realism in the games, but in Battlefield you can destroy buildings. In COD you can't. You shoot the snipers, and the bullet over a long distance will drop instead of just pinging straight. So with these ones, a lot more realistic. Maybe a lot more skin involved. Don't shoot me for that. Yeah, maybe there's a lot more skin involved with Battlefield, probably. Call of Duty is a lot more popular, so I'm excited to see what this game is going to be like. I think I've only played Battlefield 3, so it'll be very interesting to play an older one and see what the newer ones have improved on the older ones. So yeah, this one. All right, next one up. I'll be very surprised if you haven't played this game, and if you haven't, play it, okay? I don't know why I did that. Play this game, seriously. Dishonored 1. I'm getting the Game of the Year edition of this because it looks sick. And this is one of my favourite games. I love Dishonored 1, but it's set in some different timeline. I believe it's set somewhere in England because everyone has British accents. You play Corvo Atano, so that's him. He basically turns into like a vigilante assassin kind of guy. Basically what happens is you are like a high-ranking sort of guard of the Queen, and some shit goes down, and basically like she gets killed and they kidnap her daughter, and then you get framed for it. So you are dishonored. You have the highest honor, and then you become dishonored because everyone thinks you killed the Queen. So then you embark on a journey to find the truth behind it and to clear your name and to become honored again. This is a huge focus on stealth, a huge focus on finding different ways to attack the same solution. There's so many different ways that you can get past a certain point in the game. You can see on his hand there a sign, so he can use magical powers in this. And one of them, I believe, is called Blink. What you can do is you can teleport a short distance in front of you. So you can perhaps distract someone and then blink in front of you, or you can possess a rat and crawl through the tunnels and get through. You can pick stuff up and throw it in one direction and go another while someone's distracted. You have a crossbow that you can shoot different kind of bolts with. You can possess people. There's loads of stuff, and one of the greatest things about this game that I just remembered is there's sort of always two ways you can finish the game. So one, you can choose between like a good ending and a bad ending. Basically, you can basically choose to just kill everyone, and it ends up affecting the ending. So if you kill everyone, there's a plague in the city, so there's like rats everywhere. If you start killing people and leaving loads of bodies behind, then you know the rats will take over because they've got more food to munch on. And it causes loads of problems down the line. Then you've got, in certain levels, you have to assassinate people. So there are different ways to sort of bring those people down. You don't have to kill them. You can expose them for who they are. You can knock them out and lock them in a cupboard or something. You don't have to kill them all the time. And depending on what ending you choose, it depends on the amount of chaos the kingdom is left in by the time you're finished. So it's definitely worth exploring the different levels to try and find different ways to do stuff, which is, yeah, it's a very unique game. The second one is as good as the first. And as well, I don't know if you can see on the screen, you probably can there, but it's like a reflective one as well, which is very nice. And on the side, move my fingers out of the way. On the side there, you can't really see that, but even on the back, his mask is reflective. So that's cool. You don't see that much in-game cases these days. No one wants to spend money anymore. Crazy. All right, next one up. I've been watching videos on this all the time. This is heavy hitter for me. This is Oblivion Game of the Year edition. So obviously this comes with all of the DLC. This one's a shame, right? Because I couldn't find this one non-platinum. It's so annoying. And I've wanted to pick it up for so long because I really want to play Oblivion, because I've played it before, but I haven't completed it. One of the problems in this is the leveling system is not great. If you don't level up properly, you can find that the game becomes unbelievably hard to the point where it's a bit unplayable. And I got to that point, that's why I stopped playing, because I didn't understand it. You choose major and minor skills. From memory, I believe that major skills are the ones that you'll use the most, and the minor skills are the ones you still want to level up, but you'll use less. So say you want to be a battle mage, so you use magic and one-handed, but you're more of a one-handed player. You might want to choose one-handed as a major skill, and then magic or destruction magic as a secondary skill or a minor skill. So the magic levels up are less than the one-handed. This is a cool game. This is in pretty shitty condition. You might be able to see without the glare. It's got a little bit of poo-poo on it, which is fine. I can clean that off. Inside, this game is packed. So you got the platinum disc here, you've got the game manual there, and you can see creeping out behind it is the map of Cyrodiil. So everyone had, when they were a kid, had maps on their wall, and if you didn't, I don't know what to say to you. Get off this channel if you didn't put a map up on the wall. But yeah, here it is. So that's the map of Cyrodiil. It doesn't look too big, to be honest with you. It is very cool. I used to get the Skyrim map and put it on my wall. And as well, I used to put the, when I got Fallout 4, you know, you have the special skills at the top, and then you have all the Fallout Boy little characters doing every little single perk you get. And you've got a poster of it. I put that on my wall as well, because I thought that looked sick. A lot of people get that framed, actually, which is a bit too far for me. I don't want to buy a frame for it. It's nice to have in the collection. The manual is thick in this. There must be a lot. There is a lot. Look at that thick one. So this is a quite heavy case. Oblivion is arguably better than Skyrim, I would say. I really enjoy Skyrim, but I went back and played Oblivion and I was blown away. They've got a remaster Oblivion. It's crazy. It's a lot different to Skyrim. In Skyrim, I think a lot of people have the same problem, is that it's a role-playing game. And in role-playing games, obviously you want to role-play as who you want to be. In Skyrim, it really bottlenecks you into playing a certain way. You'll always play a stealth archer. I did on my first go, because that's the way the game makes you go towards. If you want to have fun, you'll be a stealth archer. Everyone's first gameplay of Skyrim was stealth archer, and if it wasn't, there's something wrong in your little mind, okay? Because stealth archer was the way to go. Well, with Skyrim is that you would join different factions and you would become the leader of every single one, and it's just not that realistic. Whereas in Oblivion, the only thing really, you start off in a jail cell, so you can't really do a gameplay of like being a good Samaritan because you start in jail. Once you get out of the jail, The whole world is at your disposal. You can be anyone you want. And with all these factions, you don't become the leader of every single one. That's the main point. You can roleplay whatever you want. So if you want to be a good person, you don't want to join the Dark Brotherhood, that's completely cool. So you don't kill anyone. But in Oblivion, I think the essential of the roleplay is a lot better. And the factions are so much better as well. So one of the best factions, I've mentioned the Dark Brotherhood, right? So in Oblivion, you have to kill someone to join the Dark Brotherhood. What you do is you kill someone, anyone, any innocent person, and you have to go to sleep, and you wake up, and I can't remember what the guy's name is, but anyway, he wakes you up, and he basically says like, oh, you killed someone, like you should join the Dark Brotherhood, you've obviously got the knack for it, and then you join the Dark Brotherhood, and like their leader is like this vampire guy, which is really cool. He sets you on all of these like different tasks. So you get the same thing in Skyrim, but in Skyrim it's not as good. Like Skyrim, it's a lot more like you're killing people, just assassination targets, that's really it. But in Oblivion, there's like there's an insane quest where you go to like a murder house, and it's like a murder mystery. So you get invited to this dinner at this house, and you have to kill everyone there. So there's like 7 people. You have to kill everyone without them finding out that you're the killer. So you kill one person, and then it starts a murder mystery kind of thing. Throughout this quest, convince people that you're not the killer, while slowly killing every person. And then when you get to the end, it's like you and one other person. It's like, well, I'm not the killer, so it must be you. And then you just chop his head off. That's it. The quest is way better than I can explain it to you, but you just need to play it. Oblivion is a fantastic game, and something I'm really, really excited to start playing again. These are the last 2 games now, so this is a great one from my childhood again. Dead Rising 2, off the record. Not Dead Rising 2, this was the first Dead Rising game that I played. You play as Frank West, the same guy you play as in the first game. I remember buying this game, and I remember going home, and I couldn't stop reading the back. I just couldn't stop reading it. This was one of those games that I remember reading the back of on the car journey home. As the inside for you, basically just the same as the front cover. But in this one, it's basically the same as Dead Rising 2, but in Dead Rising 2, you have to get like the Zombrex. You get bitten by a zombie, it's like a cure. So you take doses of Zombrex, and it will prolong your life if you got bitten. In the second one, you have a daughter that's been bitten, so you get Zombrex for her. And in this one, you've been bitten, so Frank West has to get Zombrex for himself. You obviously, in this one, he's a journalist. You take a lot of pictures in this and uncover conspiracy behind the outbreak, because there's the outbreak hasn't just happened. There's a whole story behind why, like, someone's caused it, and there's a whole story behind why they've done it. And this one is just a different spin on the second one. It's a bit weird, because why would you buy this and the second one if they're pretty much the same? There's very small differences. Games these days don't really do that anymore. It's a bit of a lost art. I can understand it, because I don't think a lot of people would buy it. This is a great game. This and Dead Rising 2 are fantastic. You know, there's the new remastered Dead Rising that's come out, and I really want to get it. So yeah, I'm hoping to get it maybe sometime soon. It's a bit expensive at the moment, but with all the Christmas sales going on, hopefully I can snag it for cheap. Okay guys, and this is the last one. So this is, I've only bought one PlayStation 4 game. This is Dishonored 2. So now I've got 1 and 2. This is great. So in the first game, as I mentioned, you basically become dishonored because people come and kill the queen, and then they steal her daughter. And in this one, her daughter is all grown up. She's been raised by Corvo. You can choose to play as either one in this one. You can play as Corvo, or you can play as Emily in this. Princess, I think it's Princess Emily. Yeah, she's been raised by Corvo. But basically what happens, as I remember, is that whoever you choose, the opposite one that you didn't choose gets like turned into stone, and some shit goes down, and you have to save them. And I don't remember the story too much, but I think someone tries to take over the kingdom, which is a bit of a shame for you and the other guy, or whoever you don't choose. But I'll read you the back. Take back what's yours. Reprise your role as supernatural assassin in Dishonored 2, the follow-up to Dishonored. Winning a winner of over 100 Game of the Year awards. Play as Emily or Corvo Atano and travel to Karnaca, the coastal city that holds the keys to restoring Emily's power. Armed with new abilities, gadgets, and weapons, track down your enemies and take back what's yours. Somebody tries to take over the throne and will do it at any cost. It's a lot of the same as the first one, but I think in this one you have to assassinate like officers of the main villain. So you go around the Karnaca place, coastal city, and you take out these targets, and you weaken the main enemy at the top, and obviously at the end of the game you do the final showdown, and you do what you do, and you can take them down and get your throne back, and it all ends happily. So would I say it's as good as the first one? Probably not, to be honest with you. Probably not. The first one just had a charm to it. This one's not bad at all. It's actually a really good game. I really enjoyed it. I think a lot of people just choose Corvo because it's a more familiar choice, really. And he's just got that cool mask. That mask was insane. Back in the day, like, that was such a familiar, like, figure of, like, gaming at the time. You'd be crazy to choose Emily, but, you know, people choose it because it's different. You know, Emily's a good character as well. I've played as Emily before. She has different powers to Corvo. She does have the same powers, but like the blink, Corvo will teleport, whereas she grows like this tentacle arm or this like shadow arm, and it like pulls her across like a rooftop or something. So you have the same sort of stuff, but yeah, it's an interesting sort of difference between them. The game incorporates stealth, focuses on like combat a lot, so it doesn't go away from the first game at all. It actually adds on to the first game. The first game just had that charm to it, so first game for me is a lot better. But this is still a great game, and I'm excited to have this in the collection as well, and maybe replay it at some point. Right guys, so now that we're done with the haul, I have rearranged the shelves. Only one addition on the PS4 is the Dishonored 2, with the PlayStation 2 there. And now we've also got the PlayStation 3 shelf is looking so much more full. PlayStation 2 is slowly growing as well, so a lot more additions there. I've had to move the CEX in the City down to here. So I've added these here as well. So I've got my Lord of the Rings trilogy there. That one in the middle is The Walking Dead, I think season 1 to 4. And then obviously CEX in the City for my girlfriend, not for me. Xbox One is there, so that shelf is now full. This shelf was empty, and it's now with the Nintendo stuff. DS, 3DS, and Nintendo Switch. And then here as well, from my last video, got the Switch box and the Xbox 360 Halo 4 edition. And that's it guys, thank you so much again for watching. If you've watched this far, please leave a like, please subscribe down below. I really appreciate it guys. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We have a few weeks to do it, so hit the subscribe button, otherwise I'm gonna come to your house, all right? I'm gonna find out where you live, and I'm gonna do something to you. Okay. Anyway, so guys, please subscribe, otherwise I'm coming. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.